afternoon, we are honored to host the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization. The Honorable Minister is here with a very powerful delegation to give us updates on programs and projects from her sector. And I can see a full house today. And I'm not surprised anyways, because I know you are expecting to hear a lot from the Honorable Minister. Thank you so much, Minister, for making time to join us today. But before I yield the podium to the Honorable Minister, permit me to acknowledge some dignitaries who have joined us this afternoon. We have with us directors from Ministry of Communications. If you are here, you are duly acknowledged. We also have the Administrator of GIFEC, Mr. Prince Owusu-Ekuful. A round of applause for Mr. Sefa. We have the Director General, Ghana Meteo Agency, Mr. Eric Asuman. We have the Executive Secretary of Postal and Courier Services, Ms. Hamdaratu Zakaria. We have the Acting Chief Director at the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization, Mr. Alexander Yao-Afo. And as I mentioned earlier, we have my mentor, the Honorable Minister for Communications and Digitalization, who also represents the good people of Ablikuma West. Welcome, Honorable Minister. So I will invite the Honorable Minister for her substantive presentation, and we will come to the media for your questions. And when that time comes, please keep it brief. You mention your name, your media house, and then proceed to ask your question. Thank you.
The Honorable Deputy Minister for Information, heads of departments and agencies of the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization, directors and staff of the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My apologies for coming in a little late. I had to attend the Thanksgiving service for the 30th anniversary of the NPP. So I hope you pardon me. We're here to brief the public through you on some activities of the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization. Technology has been driving innovation and productivity, giving countries that embrace it a competitive advantage over others. Most developing countries continue to lag behind because of their inability to take advantage of the opportunities technology provides to restructure and grow their economies. The fourth industrial revolution, which is a technological revolution driven largely by digital technology, presents us with an opportunity to expedite our economic growth and development through the usage, deployment, and exploitation of ICTs, especially digital technology, to transform our economies and share in the associated productivity and efficiency gains. At the core of this fourth industrial revolution is connectivity, access, and security. The government, through the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization, has therefore focused on improving connectivity, access, and skills development in a secured environment. That is the digital Ghana that we are developing. My presentation will focus on the Rural Telephony Project, Girls in ICT, and an update on the SIM registration exercise, which ends today. So let me start with the Rural Telephony Project. That's the brief I was giving, so I stick to it. I'm a very, very diligent student. Expanding access to broadband, voice and data connectivity is indispensable. It facilitates economic growth. The GSMA, an industry organization representing mobile operators globally, conducted a study for the period from 2000 to 2017 and the results indicated that a 10% increase in mobile penetration increases GDP growth by up to 2%. Quote, investing in broad-based digitalization from a geographic and sectoral point of view is crucial, not only to address socioeconomic problems, but also to deal with peace and security challenges, and it boosts economic growth. A study by the ITU found that 10% greater mobile broadband penetration would generate a 2.5% rise in Africa's GDP per capita, unquote. And this is from Christina Duarte, a special advisor on Africa to the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, in an IMF publication dated March 2021. Africa Goes Digital After COVID-19. Another recent study in 2021, the economic impact of broadband and digitalization through the COVID-19 period, econometric modeling, also estimated that an increase of 1% in mobile broadband penetration yields an increase in 0.16% in GDP. Over 3,000 communities in Ghana had zero connectivity to mobile voice and data in 2020. It stands to reason that focusing on increasing mobile broadband penetration is in our interest in a bid to grow our own economies. And so, faced with this stark reality, which represented approximately 4.5 to 5 million people spread across the country with a need and desire for voice and high-speed data services who were cut off from the rest of the country, it was an imperative that we provide connectivity to that segment of our population. Mobile network operators are reluctant to build cell sites in these rural communities, as the low economic activity and sparse population there makes it economically unviable. Extending connectivity is capital intensive and it is expensive, and without government intervention, these rural communities will remain cut off and unable to participate in the digital revolution which is gradually unfolding in our country. One lesson COVID-19 has taught us is the absolute necessity of digital connectivity to facilitate education, access to healthcare, economic activity, and commerce, access to and utilization of public services, etc. The Ghana Rural Telephony and Digital Inclusion Project is therefore constructing 2,016 cell sites, half of which are solar-powered, in unserved and underserved rural communities across the country, deploying low-cost base stations using the Huawei Rural Star innovative solution. The project is being implemented in partnership with Huawei and Ghana National Technical Import and Export Corporation, CNTCI, with a 155 million euro facility secured by the government of Ghana from the China Exim Bank. The Ghana Investment Fund for GIFEC, the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, is the implementing agency for the government of Ghana. The Huawei Rural Star solution was developed in Ghana and reduces the total cost of ownership by 60% compared with traditional connectivity solutions. It will enhance network coverage via a low-cost 2G, 3G services and will be upgraded to 4G data and voice that can be scaled up on demand as the communities develop. The rollout of Phase 1 is ongoing, and it is planned to be completed by 2023, with all 2,016 sites commissioned and integrated with the mobile network operators. Overall voice and data traffic reported as at June 2022 was 38,629,463 voice minutes and 62,014 gigabytes of data traffic with 507,000 subscribers. With the current deployment plan and integration with network operators to complete all 2,016 sites, we will achieve significant increase in traffic, voice and data, and meet our goal for universal access and connectivity to rural areas. This network will reach 3.4 million subscribers. It will allow the government of Ghana to increase its overall revenue, reduce the digital divide, increase financial inclusion, and overall socio-economic improvement, creating a positive impact on our GDP. It is a shared infrastructure for all network operators to provide service on and to improve connectivity and enhance user experience. We have also mandated national roaming, which allows phones to automatically connect to the mobile network with the best quality of service available in any area, regardless of which operator one is primarily subscribed to. This rural telephony network has been dubbed Ruralcom. I urge you to try it out when next you are in the catchment area of any of its sites by activating roaming on your device, and kindly send us the requisite feedback, which will enable us to improve upon our service. Since the inception of the project in November 2020, when His Excellency the President launched it at Atrebuana in the new Edubiase constituency, 890 sites have been built with 403 on air, delivering voice and data services as of July 2022. We're currently working on the documentation for phase 2 of the project, which will cover the remaining 1.1 million subscribers and upgrade the network to 4G for all subscribers. Girls in ICT. This year marks 10 years since the Girls in ICT project was launched by the ITU and celebrated annually in Ghana. By the end of 2021, approximately 5,000 girls had been given basic computer literacy and exposed to digital innovations to encourage their interest in ICT education. Government continues to work to bridge the gender digital divide by encouraging and empowering girls and young women to consider studies and careers in the growing field of ICTs, enabling both girls and technology companies, and I dare say the country as a whole, to reap the benefits of greater female participation in the ICT sector through the Girls in ICT program. In 2021, 2,000 girls from the Western, North, and Northeast regions were trained in basic computer skills, fundamentals of programming, Scratch, and HTML. In order to continue encouraging girls to pursue careers in the evolving, lucrative ICT industry, and in recognition of the fact that many more girls in deprived communities need to be exposed to the program, we have scaled up the program this year and plan to double the number trained in the previous 9 years in 1 year by training 5,000 girls and 500 teachers from Bono East, Ahafo, Savannah, and the Northern region. By the end of May 2022, 3,000 girls and 300 teachers from the 29 districts of the two Bono and the Ahafo regions were trained in basic computer skills, fundamentals of programming, Scratch, HTML, and cybersecurity under the theme Access and Safety. The ministry has started preparations to train 2,000 girls and 200 teachers from the Northern and Savannah regions in September and October this year, respectively, to complete the target for the year. To ensure continuity of the benefits of the program, 51 cyber laboratories have been set up for top-performing schools since 2017. For the 2020 and 2021 and 2022 editions of the program, 100 ICT laboratories are being set up for the top-performing schools. A mentorship program has also been included to facilitate the interaction of women in the ICT profession and academia with these young girls, to inspire them, encourage them, and educate them with their personal life stories and experiences. Furthermore, a total of 1,000 laptops have been awarded to girls and teachers since 2017. The ministry is hoping to give out 550 laptops along with protective bags to the best performing students and teachers by the end of this year alone. The program, which has been running for 10 years now, had not been evaluated to ensure that it is reaping the intended benefits and achieving its set objectives. In partnership with the GIZ, a German Development Cooperation Organization, the ministry conducted an evaluation of the Girls in ICT program in 2021. Some strengths and weaknesses have been identified, and this information will be used to improve the program. 15,000 plus girls in second cycle girls' schools have also been trained in cybersecurity and cyber hygiene in selected schools in the Eastern, Central, and Ashanti region. An equal number will be trained this August in the Bono East, Ahafo, Northern, and Savannah regions. I would like to thank our partners and sponsors in the Girls in ICT program, the NCA, the National Communications Authority, GIFEC, Kofi Annan IT Center of Excellence, MTN, GIZ, the American Towers Corporation, the Cybersecurity Authority, Huawei, and our mentors for their enormous support over the years to make this program a success. I would also appeal to other corporate organizations to help support this very important program, which is impacting lives across the country and reducing the gender digital divide. It is extremely expensive, and even the 5,000 this year is a drop in the bucket and will require additional resources to enable us scale it up. So if anybody is touched by the spirit, any company is also encouraged by the small strides that we have made, I'll encourage them to get in touch with my Deputy Minister Amapoma Boateng, who's joined us, who is directly in charge of implementing this program. I also thank the team from the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization who've worked tirelessly to enable this program become the success that it has come. We'll be remiss if we don't thank the various media houses in the districts and regions where the program has been held so far for their support and the platform they've given us to project this Girls in ICT program. Thank you. Now SIM card registration. Is that what you've been waiting for? No. Government, in a bid to develop and build a SIM database with integrity, which will assist in curbing fraudulent activities, secure SIM card-based transactions, and aid the determination of the accurate number of valid SIM cards on the various telecommunications networks at any point in time, commenced a SIM card registration exercise on 1st October 2021. The 6-month exercise, which was expected to end on 31st March 2022, was extended by another 4 months to 31st July 2022 today. The extension was granted to enable over 7.5 million Ghanaians and residents who had not obtained Ghana cards at the time to register their SIMs. As indicated in our press release of 21st March 2022, it was also to give us the opportunity to provide modalities for the registration of diplomats and complete the processes for rolling out a self-service SIM registration app to facilitate the registration of SIM cards for both residents and Ghanaians living outside the country. The current SIM registration statistics indicate that as at 28th July 2022, the total number of voice SIMs stood at 41,979,398. Out of this number, 15,395,607 have linked their Ghana cards to their SIM cards. The total number of voice SIM card registrations for existing subscribers are presented below. And I'll go through it. As at 28th July. Hang on. I have to go back. As at 28th July, the total voice SIMs were 42,121,921. That's the information provided me by the NCA. Stage 1 registrations as at that date, 28th July, were 25,260,661, representing 60% of total registrations. Stage 1 of unregistered SIMs were 16,861,260, representing 40%. Stage 2, i.e. those who had fully completed the registration process, were 16,059,350, representing 38%. Unregistered SIMs were 26,062,571, representing 62%. The challenges that have bedeviled these exercises include: 1, the self-service SIM registration app will be ready for commercial launch on Tuesday, 2nd August, as the virtual private network connectivity and API integration with all MNOs was only completed this weekend due to unavoidable circumstances. Adequate time will also be required for the publicity and public education on the use of the self-service SIM registration app, which will enable you to register yourself in the privacy of your own homes without having to queue or go to any network operator. Delays in the issuance of the Ghana card was the largest single challenge bedeviling this exercise. And my information is that the NIA has not been able to issue all eligible persons with a Ghana card, and that as at Thursday, July 21st, 2022, 16,969,034 individuals have registered for the Ghana card, with about 16,535,623 cards printed. 15,702,719 cards have been issued and distributed, whereas some 832,904 cards have not been distributed or collected by those who applied for them. Broadband wireless access registrations also commenced barely a week ago, and they have only been able to register just about 2% of their subscribers as at Friday, 29th July. Many data-only SIMs have also not been registered, and my information is that their owners were not aware that those SIMs also needed to be registered. Those are the SIMs in your MiFis and other devices, not your phones and iPads and those other, but those data-only SIMs. I believe some of them are even in our electricity meters, if my information is right. So, where do we go from here? The security situation in Boku and its environs has also made it difficult for the registration of residents and has slowed down the process in that area considerably. Next steps. The SIM registration app will be available for download on both Android and iOS this week, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Each registration via the app will be subject to a 5 cedi surcharge. You will pay 5 cedis to register yourself on the SIM registration app. Non-resident Ghanaians who do not have the Ghana card can use their passports to complete the process via the app, but will be required to update their details with the Ghana card once they acquire it. They have up to December 2022 to do so. I urge them to comply with these directives and to contact the NCA if they have any peculiar challenges. Ghanaians on official assignment outside the country or students on scholarships who cannot acquire the Ghana card by December should also contact the NCA. Special provision has already been made for members of the diplomatic corps in consultation with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, and they have been notified. It's also come to my knowledge that amputees and others who have some physical challenge are also a category of persons who are having some difficulties registering their SIMs. We will have discussions with the NIA on how to resolve these challenges. All visitors to Ghana can now acquire SIMs with their passports, and I encourage the airport authority to work with the network operators to provide adequate venues for the acquisition of SIMs at the airport. As indicated earlier, these will be valid for 3 months, and if they want to use them for a longer period, they must acquire the non-citizen ID card to validate their SIMs. Network operators must provision their systems to send notifications to this category of SIM card users. Now to the vexed question of the deadline. The statistics indicate that there was a 90% drop in SIM registrations as soon as the first deadline was extended on 21st March. Until a week ago, there were no queues at any registration center. People started rushing to register when they realized that the deadline was imminent after going to sleep when it was extended. About 50% of those who have completed the first stage of the process have not concluded the second stage. They have linked their SIMs to the Ghana card, and so that cannot be attributed to Ghana card challenges. I've also been informed that some people who have obtained quick loans from their service providers have decided not to register their SIMs to avoid repaying those loans. That is evil corruption, and you will be found out. The MNOs, network operators, and the NCA, and I dare say the NIA too, have all engaged additional staff, procured the necessary logistics, and are incurring significant expenses to conduct this exercise successfully. Any extension of the process increases their costs. Upon consultation with the industry, and in view of the challenges enumerated above, I have very reluctantly decided to grant a final conditional extension. The program will, and I'm choosing my words carefully, the program will be extended to 30th September to end on the anniversary of its commencement. That will give us 1 full year of SIM registration. It will be reviewed at the end of this month, and any SIM that has not been fully registered by the end of August will be barred from receiving certain services, including voice and data services. It will also be more expensive to use unregistered SIMs. The full range of punitive measures will be announced at another press briefing in September. Kindly do not blame your service provider when you suffer that fate due to your own inaction. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. I must end by reminding us all that the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization is not the supervisory ministry for the National Identification Authority, even though we collaborate and work very closely with them. My hapless self has been roundly vilified in certain quarters, particularly this past week, for Ghana card challenges which I am not responsible for. Professor Kenatefa and his sector minister, Honorable Ambrose Derry, Minister for the Interior, are available to answer any Ghana card-related issue, please. I am staying firmly in my lane, Midimi lane. Actions also have consequences. And in all that we do, we must put the interest of our beloved country first. In 2018, the NDC vociferously opposed the Ghana card registration and called on all their supporters to boycott the registration process. Those who heeded that antisocial call and refused to register are now feeling the effects of it. You listen to the NDC on any issue at your own peril. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for the insightful presentation, Honorable Minister. I would like to acknowledge the various media houses that are picking us live. You can watch this press briefing live on GTV, TV3, and Joy News. If you're on social media, you can also go to the Ministry of Information Facebook handle and watch this press briefing live. I also noticed that some dignitaries joined us in course of the program, and I'll use this opportunity to acknowledge the Deputy Minister for the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization, who also doubles as the MP for Jabin constituency, Honorable Ama Poma Boateng. We also have the Director General of the National Communications Authority, NCA, Mr. Joe Anoche. Also with us this afternoon is Ms. Lexi Boateng, who is the team lead for Ghana Cares. Friends from the media, on that note, I'll come to you for your questions. This is the best time to ask. We will take 2 sets of questions. If you have a question, please be brief and go straight to the point so that we can take more questions. So they will bring the microphone to you when we see your hand up. You mention your name and media house and proceed to ask your question. So please, if you have any question, this is the best time to ask. Yeah, Mr. Lancer. Okay, I'll take Paul. Okay, so we'll take 1, 2. Only 2 hands in the room, please. If you have any question, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Now, my question to the minister is, considering the efforts of government to build an effective telecommunication network in the country, it is deemed as a good move. But here is the case. Some areas in the country, like rural areas, still suffer the challenge. They have network issues. Should it be that the last amnesty granted to them is ended, what will be their fate? Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question. We will take Mr. Lancer's question. And then Nana.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Musa Lancer with GH1 TV. The Honorable Minister mentioned Boko and the challenges they had relating to the SIM re-registration. What specific plan do they have to make sure that the people in Boko, after all the challenges, are able to register before the September deadline she's given? And secondly, though she absolves her ministry for the blame in terms of the Ghana card acquisition or application, what is the level of collaboration between the Communications Ministry and then the Interior Ministry, especially the NIA, in terms of ensuring that people get their Ghana cards? In the last 2 weeks, the man in charge of NIA has been speaking so much about the fact that they are being pressured to provide the Ghana cards to Ghanaians when they don't have a specific timeline in terms of delivering on the process of giving Ghanaians Ghana cards. They have material shortages and so on. So I want to know what's the level of collaboration between the two so that we don't have the back and forth that the Ministry of Communication and the NIA have now.
So we'll take Nana's question.
Yes, good afternoon, Honorable Minister. The NDC is suggesting that if you do go ahead with the time limit given, they are going to take it to court. Do you see it as a political gimmick, or is that they are being disingenuous? And my second question, I think there was an attempt by the government to give one child one laptop or whatever it is, or tablet. How far have you gone that program? Thank you.
Nana, please, is it under the Ministry for Communication? Because, mind you, we are talking about the rural telephony, girls in ICT, and also SIM re-registration. So maybe your question may be related to another ministry.
Oh, okay. But I think it was a program like that. I don't know whether it's the Ministry of Education or this ministry, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I take that to be the last question. Okay, if we don't see any hands, then I will invite the Honorable Minister.
The first question was, if I got it right, that some network issues in some rural communities are making it difficult for them to register their SIMs. Was that it? Okay. As I indicated, we're working to ensure that the SIM registration app is operational this week, so that you can sit, and that will answer the Boku issue as well. You can sit in the privacy of your own home, download the app, and register yourself. That, I think, will even create business opportunities for people who will download the app and register for other people as well. And I think that's also possible. So that would go a long way towards addressing some of the issues in Boku and its environs. And for the areas where connectivity is difficult as well, I believe that would also help address that issue. But as I indicated in my presentation, before we came to power, about 4.5 million Ghanaians didn't have access to the internet, or didn't have connectivity. We're working to reduce that number by 3.4 by the end of next year. And the remaining 1.1 would also be catered for in phase 2 of the rural telephony project. I believe that you can even register, and when you get to an area where there's connectivity, the downloads and the connections will be done. So all those have been factored in, and they would also be catered for in due course. I have the level of collaboration between the Ministry and Interior is very high. I actually spoke to the Minister for the Interior just before coming here to ask him if the 2 months would be enough for them to clear their backlog, and he said yes. So please, if you have any other Ghana card-related issues, you know where to direct your fire, not Ursula. I'm not responsible for that. We talk, but the questions that they're the only ones who can answer for you. I won't be in a position to answer it for you. As for the NDC, I've told you, you listen to them on any issue at your own peril. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't have any questions, okay, you have a question now? Okay. Follow-up question? Okay, you can ask that and then we'll take. Yes, please, this will be the last round. So if you have any question and you don't ask now, we won't come back.
My question was about the network connectivity, because in some instances, some of the people in the rural areas go to a certain place, they don't even have network at all. I'm not talking about getting an app or not. Even if there is network, somebody can easily go there to register them. But here is the case, there's no network. I want to find out what will be their fate when the person has no network.
You said they don't have network to even download the self-service app.
Yes, please.
Okay, okay. Well noted. So,
Saboba in the northern region.
Saboba.
In the northern region.
Okay. So we will take the second question.
The minority, they have been insisting that at least we should allow people with other modes of identification, such as passports and then driver's license, to be allowed to go through the process. I want to know if this is something the Ministry of Communication wants to consider.
Thank you for the question. I take that to be, okay, you have a follow-up? Okay, that's fine. Thank you for the question. I take that to be the last question. Okay. Please, if you have a question, raise your hand because we may not come back.
Follow up to my question. Madam Minister, they said that if you went ahead, they would take you to court. So what you are reaction to, I'm not, we shouldn't listen to them, but they're saying that if you go ahead, they will take you to court because they think that a lot more Ghanaians are going to suffer for that decision. So what is your reaction to their statement?
Thank you for the question. So we'll call the Honorable Minister for her response.
We cannot listen to them.
Let me answer the last one first. If I go ahead with what? I don't understand that. If the deadline, which one? Master, I've told you, don't listen to them. You. They did the same thing with health insurance. What happened to it? They said people shouldn't register for health insurance. If you listen to them, how would that have benefited you? Did the same thing for Ghana Card. I can give you a whole list of advice or admonitions that they gave Ghanaians, which have ended up harming us more than helping us. So please, let me reiterate it. If you listen to the NDC on any issue at your own peril. What was the first question on ICT education? The CICs. No, the question, you came back with another question on the network, connectivity and registration in those areas. But if there's no network, how can you use your phone? You will use it in an area where there is connectivity. So I'll urge them to register where they use their phones. Because if there's no network, you cannot use any mobile device at all. So when you get to an area where there's connectivity that you want to use your phone, download the app or go to any center. If you don't have a smartphone, find someone with a smartphone to register your device for you on your behalf. Other IDs to be used for the registration exercise. It is not my doing. The law makes it impossible for me to use other IDs in Ghana. But we will continue dialoguing on this matter. As I indicated in my presentation, for those outside the country, they will be allowed to use their passports to register on the SIM registration app and then link up with their Ghana card when they acquire the Ghana cards on their return to the country. The other categories of people, like those on official assignments outside, diplomats outside and all of that, they would also be allowed to use their passports to register on the SIM registration app. How many people, there are more people who have Ghana cards than those who have passports. And it almost invariable that if you have a passport, you would have a Ghana card. With the extension, I would urge everyone to acquire it, because it's not just for the SIM registration that you need the Ghana card. It's for multiple purposes, and very soon, there'll be very little you can do in this country if you do not have your national ID card. So it's in your own interest to ensure that you acquire it. The banks have already started. Very soon, you'll be registered at birth when you have your child. The child can be put on your own Ghana card to enable them utilize a unique identification number throughout their life. For those of you who've traveled to other parts of the country, of the world, in the UK, you have your national insurance number, which is used for almost every public service engagement that you need to have. We're moving towards a similar scenario. So let's not just think about the Ghana card acquisition in terms of SIM card registration. Before long, you will need it for almost everything you need to do in this country, including internal and international travels. The CICs, the community ICT centers, when built, were given to the district assemblies to manage. We have been informed that some of it has been mismanaged and abused. And so GIFIC has been directed to take over the management of all these CICs. It's interesting to know that in some parts of the country, they are using it as refreshment centers. Well, we are going to put them to the use to which it was intended. So let me use this medium to also notify the public sector agencies which are occupying some of these regional innovation centers and CICs without reference to the Ministry of Communications to start. We will sack them, because we need those, we're going to use those regional innovation centers as mini technology hubs, akin to the Accra Digital Center, across the country. So we need vacant possession of all those centers so that we can renovate it and equip it and utilize it for the purpose for which it was intended. The CICs are being used for very, very useful purposes across the country to educate and train people in all corners of this country in basic ICT skills, and to enable them. They can even be used to download the SIM registration app for registration. So just go to a post office or a CIC near you and utilize their network there to ensure that you also get registered. We are very determined to scale up the acquisition of digital skills and ICT knowledge for all our young people, regardless of where they are in this country. We have a very useful program with GIZ and ITU and NORAD, which we call the Digital Transformation Centers Project, which is utilizing these CICs to provide training, not just for our school-going children, but people living in those catchment areas, and it's proving very useful to them. So we intend to utilize all these CICs fully and equip them for that purpose. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for making time to join us today. You heard the Honorable Minister. Today we have a full house, especially on a Sunday. That means a lot. It means most of you really want to hear what she had to say. You raised concerns. She listened to those concerns and has offered a final conditional extension on the SIM registration exercise. This is not the time to sleep. If you sleep on your right, you don't go and register. If you had plans to go and register tomorrow, but because of this extension, you want to wait till 30th September, we will be here at the same spot. I'm pleading with you, go and register your SIM cards. Minuano Mesremo, Honorable Minister Bejinaha, and some amuka yenina wate, or say registration no, Osa de bosumi mienu eda yenimu eka ho. Ama obi biara bibia ye osi akwanti a wantimi an register osem no. By 30th September, they no akọ register. Enye brewe na ose me de ko seketa akoda. Ochina na nka me ko register nso me nya ankoye because of extension. Oye sa nyame ya adoma bosumi mienu se ne ye besa abegina ha amwa sa ati nisuo. Enti mesre mo obia nko register ne same card no. No mo ntimi nsiesie niam ebeboa ma o man na tumpon. Friends from the media, I would also use this opportunity to plead with you to spread the word on the Girls in ICT program. It's a very big program. For this year alone, if the ministry through its agencies are training over 5,000 girls and 500 teachers, last year more than 2,000 girls, and doing so much, over 15,000 in cybersecurity. When the minister was mentioning the figures, I was like, how did we miss all this information? We are waiting for our Mark Zuckerbergs, and this is how they will be created. So please spread the word and help us amplify some of these bright spots and encourage people to enroll on these programs. On that note, we are at the end of today's program, and I want to thank all of you for making time to join us, and for all our friends who are watching from home and all the media houses who took time to cover this live. GTV, TV3, Joy News, thank you so much. Good afternoon. Home-based TV as well, thank you so much for the live coverage. Good afternoon.